안녕하세요. Hi everyone. This is Ariel, one half of Soju for Two, and this video is the watching now of Cheongdam Dong Alice, which is it came out I think maybe a month or maybe 2 months ago, and we're on episode 6 right now. And I'm completely in love with it. I'm obsessed. I spent last night watching like all the episodes, and I should have been sleeping, so it was really good. So I'll tell you the characters. So we have a bunch of characters we've seen before, or actors we've seen before. So Geun-Young plays Han Se-kyung, and she was in Mary Stayed Out All Night, My Little Bride, Cinderella's sister. She's great. We love her. And then Park Shi-hoo plays Cha Sung-jo, and Kim Ji-suk plays Tammy Hung. And Park Shi-ho was in Prosecutor Princess, and he was great in that. And then Kim Ji-suk was just in I Need Romance 2, and he was the bad guy in Personal Taste. So really, really good cast in this one, and a bunch of other side characters as well that are really a little bit malicious and terrible, but I love them. So the plot of this story, it's called Cheongdam Dong Alice, so it's based loosely off of Alice in Wonderland, but really, really loosely. The idea is that she is this, plucky girl that's been trying really hard, but she isn't getting anywhere. She's a fashion designer. She sort of gets pulled into this job because she was high school rivals with the lady who owns the company now, or her husband owns it. And she basically is going to teach her how to make all the money and get a fancy house and live in Cheongdam Dong, which is a very expensive area in Seoul. So the premise is interesting. The idea of the white rabbit is basically the contact in this world and this circle, and how you get pulled in and how you find people. An interesting thing about it, and they explored it pretty early on, is that it sort of, to me, it seems like the kind of thing that having this white rabbit, this prelude into it, it kind of does feel like it'd be she's gonna do anything to get there, but then they really make a point of saying she's not gonna just sleep with people for money and things like that. So she's keeping her integrity. Meanwhile, this completely rich, kind of crazy guy, it's not like Protect the Boss, is in love with her. And he's her benefactor right now, her daddy long legs. So I don't know, it's an interesting plot, and it makes sense. It feels like a lot of other things we've seen before, but the whole Alice in Wonderland is a little different. It has a Devil Wears Prada feel to it a little bit. She's in this fashion world, but she wants to be there, but she just doesn't have the money to be fashionable. And I guess a lot of the plot is interesting too to me, because it's Seoul is really a fashionable city, and I don't know, I think you definitely see you can tell the difference in clothing and by price, and Seoul is just one of those cities where it's obvious. So either you have people that pretend like they don't care, but they're really wearing expensive clothing, or the people that are wearing expensive clothing that looks like they're expensive, or the unfashionable masses. But most of Korea is Seoul is pretty fashionable, even if they're not paying much. But it definitely is a brand name city, and people want brands, and they always ask, where did you buy something, and what's the brand, and how much was it? So those things are really common questions, for sure. And right now it doesn't seem like being thrifty is a big thing here in Seoul, so people really like to spend. Okay, so let's talk about love triangle. So in this one, there really isn't a love triangle right now. The love triangle that's existing as of episode 6 is the female lead, the male lead, and then the imaginary daddy long legs, which is really him. So that's sort of the only thing right now. But clearly she's falling in love with him, and I just think she's going to be conflicted because she doesn't realize that he's the same guy, and really there's no reason for this conflict, but it's still really cute. Misunderstanding. So I guess the big misunderstanding is his identity, and why she's there and what's her interest in him. But I think it's one of those things where, she's going to be mad, but she's not going to be mad for very long. It has Coffee Prince feel to me. Bad guy turn good? I don't know. There's some bad guys you can tell. Kim Ji-suk's character, I think, is definitely a bad guy in this, and I don't know if he's going to be redeemable. I think he's going to always be someone throwing the wrenches into the plot. But actually the bad girl turn good is probably going to be the enemy, the frenemy, because something about her seems redeemable, even though you want to really hate her. Something about her seems pretty, in the end you may find her redeemable, so we'll see. Fashion. So this one has amazing fashion. Not for the female lead though, obviously for everyone else. The male fashion is really cool, and the female fashion I think is beautiful. But I mean, they're in the fashion world. There's like so the Devil Wears Prada, like the owner of the design house, and she's got like amazing killer sense, really really beautiful clothing. So there's really cool fashion in this. Music, as of right now, no big music that I really enjoyed. Kisses, so we haven't had any kisses yet. And piggyback rides, there was one, but it was a friend, so not yet. And there was an almost kiss, it was an intense moment. But what I really like about this show and what's setting it apart from others is like the emotions in it. You know, there's a few like in the early episodes where she just like is crying and it's really emotional, and something about it just feels really raw, and I really think like that's what she brings to this. Like she's a great actress, and in this one I think she's really like she's taking a character that could be really flat and she adds a lot of life to it. There's also sort of her like boyfriend in the beginning that I really liked, and I thought that he actually looked like it's something about the way he cried and his emotion too just felt really it was complex, and I really enjoyed that about the first episodes. But the show's definitely changing. It's not quite as like sentimental right now. It's definitely getting more on the romantic side. So, very good show so far. I think you should be watching it if you're not. I'm absolutely loving it, and I watched like 6 episodes in one sitting, so it's worth it. So that's it for right now, and I'll send you guys a message about everything else going on in my life very soon. Bye, everyone.